Is that? Oh my god, I forgot my glasses.
Oh my god,
My glasses!
Hey everybody, it's Midtown Comics, new comic book day video for this week. It's Mario and
Kareem!
And we're gonna go through our top 10 books, but what we're gonna do first is we're gonna give you our top 7, and then we're gonna have a special guest come on here and tell us which of our top 3 books actually belongs in the top 3 spots. Stay tuned for later in the video when we find out who won last week's cursed book, and also we'll have another giveaway later in the video too, so again, stay tuned to find out how you can win and who won this one.
Who, how, who?
Who, how, why, when, where, and
What?
what?
Stay tuned.
I'm trying to think of other one-word questions. And there aren't any. There aren't any. Meh? At the bottom of the list, number 10 is The Amazing Mary Jane, number 5. I put this at the bottom because you get a 100% full-on... You know what? I'm going full spoilers today. This book is about Mary Jane keeping together the filming of Quentin Beck's dream movie that he wants to make. And apparently this has been going on for 4 issues before this. So this is the ending of that filming. Was Mary Jane that hard up for work that she's willing to work with a supervillain to make his movie come to life? Yes. Yes, she is. And at the end of this book, Mary Jane fights a version of the Sinister Six. Yes, that's right. That's Mary Jane kicking the Rhino down a hill.
Did she have spider powers in this?
No, he was bested by physics because she had the high ground.
She is the chosen one, after all. So I've got The Plunge, which is a DC Black Label book by Joe Hill. This is in the line of the Joe Hill, horror books and stuff like that. It wasn't bad. It was just a little too wordy. I think Joe Hill, he comes from a novel background, so I think that got the best of him. I was just like, okay, there's words, and there's more words, and there's words.
When you're from a family like that, who has, a number of talented writers, we don't have to necessarily say who, you wanna prove yourself.
His daddy's the king.
The king.
But it has a great opening. Yeah, it has a great opening. It was just a guy on a beach, and you turn the page, and it's this big squid monster. So it's basically like a monster story, and a team is assembled to find out what the monsters are.
I love me a squid monster.
Yeah. It's basically, have you read Scott Snyder's The Wake by Scott Snyder and Sean Murphy, I think. It's basically less bombastic than that. Less fun. Yeah, I said it. So
I like the term less bombastic.
Less bombastic.
How much bombasm was it? How much bombabism? Bombabism?
Bombabism?
How much bombasticity were you expecting?
Alova. Yeah, so this is the bottom of my list.
That was 10-9. This is 8. I can count. I'm sorry. And rate, this is Guardians of the Galaxy number 2. It seems to me like every 5 months or so, the Guardians get a huge overhaul, and it's a whole different crew. It's a whole different team. Luckily, this is only number 2, so I haven't missed too much. But again, I'm going full spoilers. I don't necessarily think that a character needs to sacrifice himself to be important. But at the end of this book, Peter Quill sacrifices himself. Star-Lord blows up with a neutron, with a black hole bomb. Apparently, the gods of Olympus, have returned, but they're evil and they want their universe back. And to stop them, in a last-ditch attempt, Peter Quill blows himself up. Actually, yeah, that's it. That's him blowing himself up right there. I wasn't sure I opened to the right page. But yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I'm not a huge fan of Marvel retconning personalities to be more like they are in the movies. I mean, some characters have great personalities in the movies, but they didn't always have those personalities when they started in the books. I think Rocket's pretty clear cut. That was Rocket's personality, and it remains so here. But Peter Quill being the, quippy, fun doughboy Andy from Parks and Rec, it's not 100% necessary.
Kind of been mixed.
It's way. If you're just picking this up, that's the only Star-Lord you know at this point. So, all right, I'm fine with it. But again, I don't think you need to sacrifice a character to make him worth something. Harrison Ford.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired at 90-year-old man Harrison Ford.
Indiana Jones 5 confirmed. Okay. I've got God Killers. I don't know why.
Why did you say God Killers? He's got God Killers.
God Killers. I've got God Killers. I've got God Killers.
You need an exterminator for God Killers?
Number 1, by Aftershock Comics. So this is basically if you like depressing stuff like the war in the Middle East and xenophobia and imperialism, this has that. It has the skin of it, but it's really like a body horror type of thriller.
A body horror comic book? Really?
Yeah, and it surprised me. I thought it was going to be a straight up, war thriller. But
is that one of those crazy indies?
Yeah.
It is, obviously, yes, Aftershock Comics.
I've got a
body horror comic
Let
book.
me show you this weird.
Show me your most horrific body.
I'm just going to spoil the end. So imagine waking up to that.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So it's basically like a team of mercenaries sent on this mission, and they find out that things are not how they seem. It's just
I love when mercenaries are sent into terrible places.
as they are.
Well, worse places than they're supposed to be.
So yeah, high octane action, and horror fans pick this up.
Interesting. All right, so I've got my next piece here is Justice League 41. A couple weeks ago, I reviewed Justice League 40, which was the first part of this story. This is now the second part that picks up where that one ended.
So Scott Snyder's done.
Yes, he's done. This is Rob Venditti, and there's a brand new story arc for the Justice League. Again, all the DC books are set in the backdrop of Superman just revealed his identity. That was one thing I took away from the last book, that everybody kind of, it didn't faze anybody. In this book, the Eradicator, who showed up during the reign of the Supermen, he's technically a robot Kryptonian who's charged with continuing the Kryptonian line. So now there's another planet called Daxam, where they have like the same body type, where if they come here, they get empowered by the yellow sun. So he's recruited a ton of Daxamites to become the new Kryptonians. And
That's fascinating.
How does the Justice League handle a bunch of Supermen, basically?
Yeah.
And one of the things they asked Superman in that last issue is, "What are you afraid of?" And he said, "Well, I was never really fond of magic." Because magic's that one thing that's going to get you. So Batman goes to find a lady called Madame Xanadu on the advice of Wonder Woman, who met this woman prior. She's a big old magician, and in order to prove that Batman's serious about saving his city and the world and everybody else, he says this line to her. And I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to show you the book.
Audible by Mario.
Okay.
Read it in a Batman voice.
King Arthur's knights swore an oath to always speak the truth. Will you trust me to do the same? Arise, Dark Knight. State your purpose here if you must. I put on this suit and pick up my trinkets every night to fight for Gotham City. Despite the crime and the rot and the filth, I protect it. Every building, every street, the people. Maybe they deserve Maybe they deserve a knight in shining armor instead. But at least I'm something. I wonder how much stronger my drive to protect Gotham would be if I'd lived there since the days of Arthur and Camelot. Whatever it is you want to protect in this world, these buildings, these streets, this threat, we'll burn it down. Well, we'll burn it all, unless you help us stop it now. Tell me more.
Chills.
Take that, Robert Pattinson. Back to Kareem.
So I've got Deadpool, number 3. And this is by someone I don't remember. Kelly Thompson. Got Deadpool, number 3. So Deadpool, if you've been following Deadpool, he's the king of the monsters, I think?
Sure.
The usual with Deadpool. He defeated Godzilla.
Deadpool never shocks me.
And he's the reigning, defending
He
king.
what?
He defeated Godzilla.
I need to see that.
It's Wade Wilson.
Wow.
So he's the king of the monsters, and he's basically fighting Kraven the Hunter in this. And if you're a Deadpool fan, you're gonna pick this up. Some great lines in this. He has like one line that he's like, he makes fun of Wolverine. He's like, "I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do is I'm a great conversationalist." And it's like, It's just like a ton of gut punching.
Best
fun.
there is at what I do, and what I do is speak eloquently.
And
It's not pretty.
he's hired a bunch of like monster hunters and stuff like that, so he doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. The usual Deadpool stuff.
The usual Deadpool stuff.
I had a lot of fun
out
with
there
this.
crazy. Deadpool's usually a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a little off and on for me. It can get a little tiresome.
Depends on the writer and depends on how they're explaining his crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I always liked the original where he was just a lunatic, and then after a while, during another run, there was somebody stuck inside his head. There was a third voice in his head, so
Try to find.
it's always fun when you.
So he faces off with Kraven the Hunter in this.
I'd like to see Deadpool versus Kraven.
I think this is Bocciolo on art, by the way. Very sketcy and cartoony.
Oh, I see the little crown on top of the D on the Deadpool. That's funny. That's good, clean Deadpool fun.
Deadpool. So that's my pick.
And then you've got one more pick, don't you?
Oh, I do.
You do.
I do.
You do.
You know, my pick is actually funny. So I've got the Clown Prince himself. This is Joker Killer
love that
Smile.
cover.
Part 3. I
love
love this
that cover. I love that's Carrie Andrews. I hope I said that right. But I love that person's art.
This is Jeff Lemire. Jeff Lemire. And,
I know that one.
Interiors by Andrea Sorrentino, the usual pair.
Cool.
And this is a DC Black Label book. This is the Joker doing what the Joker does. He twists the mind of some innocent poor man, his own doctor, and convinces him that madness is the only way.
Because as the Joker proves time and time again, it only takes one bad day to become a psychopath.
One bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your standard, classic Joker story of just him just doing something wrong.
Cool.
And you really feel for the doctor. The doctor started off like Harley Quinn almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wanted to help him, and he just twisted his life into madness. And I think this is the end of this. So I haven't been following this, but if you've been following it, pick this up because you want to end the story.
Of course.
So
But I love the Black Label stuff. All the Black Label stuff I've read so far.
It's really solid.
very interesting to read. Very fun. Different takes on stuff. One of my top 3 picks is going to be a Black Label book. So you've got your top 3, I've got my top 3, and let's welcome our special guest to let us fight it out over them.
Okay, well, I am your surprise guest today, and I am here to bring hard reviews. Okay, there's 6 great books here, and we got to narrow it down to the top 3. So I'm going to be as tough as I can possibly be, not only on the books themselves, but on your reviews. So you guys better bring your A game for this. I want to see enthusiasm. I want to see jokes. Okay.
All right.
I want to see it all. Because honestly, I really wanted to read some of these books this week, and I haven't yet.
Well,
so if you're going to spoil them all for me, which is totally okay,
Definitely.
there better be some bells, whistles, and pizzazz. Okay.
Well, 2 of my books are 2 indie picks, and I can't wait to spoil these for you.
Yeah, I
because
bet.
They need to be spoiled.
Did all the heavy lifting for me. Did all the heavy reading for me.
All right, Kareem, would you like to go first?
I just want to say your new nickname today is the reviewer formerly known as Tony Stark. Okay. So.
Forgot my glasses in my office.
Did you guys even know what his eyes look like? Did you even recognize him?
They're hazel. Some days they're more green, some days they're more brown.
Most days
His
they're
secret
just
identity.
most days they're just bright lavender. All right, so I guess we'll let Kareem start it off.
So my third pick is Hellboy and the BPRD.
Your enthusiasm level's like a 4. I'm gonna need it to be at least a 6.
The return of
I'm
Effie
trying.
Kolb.
The Return of Effie Kolb. So this is a classic short story, as usual with Hellboy. So
Yeah.
you've got supernatural kind of intrigue. Hellboy is sent to the forest, supernatural forest, mystical forest.
I was gonna say, but that should be a regular forest.
It's not a regular forest.
I would have docked points for that.
Think Endor, but magic.
Okay. Okay.
So it's he's hunting witches, and he's accompanied.
Witches be crazy.
Witch, please. So there's a psychic young girl, and she's met by a supreme witch who invites her to a school of witches. Does this sound familiar?
Yeah.
It does. It sounds like a snooze fest.
Yeah.
It should.
Does he have a lightning bolt scar on his forehead?
I was thinking Hansel and Gretel.
I was thinking Sabrina.
Wow.
Wow, we're all thinking
know what's
three
going on?
completely different witch
You know what I
stories.
learned today? There are way too many witch stories about witch high school.
But I love the art in this. It's classic,
Okay.
you know,
Mignola.
Mignola-esque.
Oh, wait, Mignola.
Mignola. We can't do
I'm
that.
mignola over
Yeah,
here.
yeah, hey.
Hey, over here.
Get a mignola with a side of cream.
Okay, little tomato sauce ricotta on the top. Perfection. No, but the art is really cool.
Yeah,
I will give you that.
it's really cool. A lot of horror stuff, a lot of supernatural stuff, and the BPRD is my favorite section of Hellboy. So it's basically the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Development.
Points to Gryffindor. I mean, Kareem-door.
I was gonna say.
I'm actually a Ravenclaw,
well
Oh, okay.
guys.
Oh.
So
A Kareem-enclaw. Okay. Points to Kareem-enclaw.
so I like this one.
What was your favorite part about it?
I just like the mood of it. I like the atmosphere and stuff like that.
Very moody.
Yeah, just I love the Hellboy mysteries. It's like,
Alright,
what is he
that's-
up to?
It's going to be tough to beat. That sounds pretty fascinating.
I don't think I'm gonna beat it. Hellboy's classic stuff.
In your top three.
What-
Your
what
confidence
I've
in
got-
indies is like hurts my soul. It hurts
What I've
my
got
soul.
here is one of the crazier books I've read in a while, and I've read some crazy books the last couple of weeks.
This
I read
one
that.
looked cool. This had a cool concept.
I read that one about the alien egg in the middle of the forest last week about, kids who were alienated. This is okay, so we've got another very literal title here. This is On the Stump. Quick, very quick synopsis here of what's going on before we get into the story of the book.
Okay.
These are senators who are also wrestling stars
Love it.
who fight to the, I won't say fight to the death, but they beat the crap out of each other over who's going to pass legislation.
Oh my! Why is our Senate not built like this?
Somewhere
if
in
you're
the near
listening
future.
out there, this is genius. Who wrote this? Because this is genius.
Brown.
Ah, Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown. But if you can see right here, in the near future, at some point in this country, our senators will be battling out what laws get made into.
Let's
into
talk
real
about
law
impeachment, brother.
on a giant tree stump.
I
So,
love this.
Very violent book. There's a lot of fighting going on. There is a conspiracy going on about who was or who wasn't supposed to throw this fight. And yeah,
They're
the way
fixed.
this one is, I don't know if they're
Whoa.
100% always
Not
fixed.
much has changed in politics. Okay,
What
I see where they're going with this. I like.
Well,
I like it. It's got a good philosophical message.
What I don't necessarily know that they won't get sued over is that the name of one of the news outlets in this is called WWFX.com.
Okay.
I can smell a lawsuit again. Like,
How do you know they don't
somebody
actually? Maybe
should
they
have thought
bought.
about that.
maybe
Not with wrestling, but with the World Wildlife Fund, of course. They're the only real WWF.
Oh, that's true. But I doubt people going out there and saving pandas are reading comic books about wrestling senators.
I highly disagree. I think people who save pandas are way into comic books because,
Because it takes some love and imagination.
pandas have to read too. When you're transporting a panda across the world, you gotta keep it busy.
That's true.
Give it a comic book. All right, so this is senators beating each other's faces in to get their laws passed, and it's nothing that Hellboy would have. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
my gosh.
I don't think I can beat Hellboy. I'm saying it. I'm conceding.
Your faith in your indies.
I have no faith in this indie. The next indie, and plus I know my next two books are gonna crush Kareem.
Well, I'm the one making the ruling here, so
Fine,
let
you
me be the
decide.
judge of that. I think On the Stump has it for story, but this one has it for art. So I'm kind of a little torn here.
I'll trade you.
Oh my gosh.
I really like that synopsis.
I know, me too.
Did I do a good job with the synopsis? Maybe
Yeah,
I did. Here,
yeah.
look at some blood. I want to see some blood. This guy got his head ripped off. I don't know. Does the camera want to see his head ripped off? Again, I forgot I was going full spoilers on all these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Total conspiracy. All right, so the back. I would have liked a more interesting back cover. I think a lot more is going on than just this guy.
This guy.
Why am I downplaying my own book?
Why are you downplaying your own book?
Vote for me.
All right, I'm going with On the Stump. I think it's a cool story, although I think Hellboy has fantastic art. I do like something original, and
I'll take the win.
yeah.
Why am I fighting?
I
the
also
win?
think wrestling senators is a personal dream of mine. So the outfits, I feel like the outfits would make
I was kind of
C-SPAN
surprised.
so much more interesting.
Okay, so I've got Marvel's Voices number 1.
You have to say
Voices.
Voices.
So Marvel's Voices is basically an assortment of creators, of diverse creators, I would say. Women of color, people of color, people from the LGBT community, and stuff like that. It's a sort of a meditation on all of that stuff. And it was actually a podcast converted into a collection of comic book stories, which I found really interesting. It's never been like, a podcast done with comic book anthologies and back and forth. So I thought that was really experimental as far as storytelling. So there's a bunch of rap personalities and stuff and saying what they like as their favorite Marvel, events and stuff like that. And there's also industry greats like Vita.
So what's in the book?
It's just basically, just a collection of stories. There's one story where Black Panther's sister, Shuri, I believe. Shuri is racing Forge, and it's all about, Wakandan technology and stuff like that. There's a Spider-Man story in this where some woman gets robbed, and it's a big insight onto the African American struggle and stuff like that. Speaking of this cover, this is like an ode to Black History Month, featuring a lot of Marvel's African American characters.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's a lot of just
I like
short
the
story.
different
different art
art
styles.
styles.
A lot of different
inside.
artists and a lot of different creators and stuff like that. This
Yeah, I
Nick
like
Fury's story here.
Oh, I like the cover too. It's cool.
Yeah. Barbershop.
Stretch.
I said you're on the wrong roof.
So I thought this was really, good chronicle into the Marvel kind of community that you don't see. And I will definitely check out their podcast. I think that's a really cool idea.
That is a cool idea. Maybe a little too educational there, Professor. You've been promoted to a professor of Kareem-enclaw.
There is some punching in it. I mean, come on.
See, why didn't you start with that?
It's a comic book. For my number 2 book, Vic. It's hard to follow that. I should have went first.
Yeah, you should have.
We had some poignant discussions about Black History Month, and now we're going to talk about Canopus.
As you should.
That's the name of this book.
Okay.
It is named after the sun in the star system that this lady is in. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so yes, the Canopus is the name of the star that the planet that this female doctor, astronaut, we're not really sure because she's got amnesia, wakes up on, and her computer tells her you're on a planet 309.8 light years away from Earth, and you're orbiting the star Canopus.
So basically, if there was a bright center of the universe, this would be the place farthest from? This is basically what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just double checking. Thank
Think
you.
of some power converters
I
after
know. He doesn't have his glasses on now. He can't look stuff up on the internet.
I can't.
No Tony Stark interface.
Yes, quite.
Jokes go right over his head.
Sometimes they do. I'm also trying to figure out how I can make a cannabis joke, but it's not coming to my head.
This is a trippy book.
So this is a very interesting read. There's a mystery going on. You know what? I'm going full spoilers. She has no idea why she's on this planet or what's going on, but every time she thinks of Earth, she gets flashes of fire and
brimstone.
She's figuring that something happened on Earth, and she's out here trying to get
zombie apocalypse
information to get back there. We have no
demon
idea.
Apocalypse.
Fire. She's alone at first, but then all of a sudden there's this little robot boy.
Ooh, okay.
Who calls her mom, And she's like, I'm not your mom. Like, cut it out.
Little weird.
It's very weird, very weird.
Weird.
The computer tells her that she needs some special elements and to kind of travel across the planet to get it so that they can make what they need to leave this planet and get back to Earth.
Okay, so the robot's an NPC who just gave her a quest.
So,
how it
not
starts?
that robot, different robot.
Oh, different, right.
Computer
Okay.
in the ship versus physical robot. Hi, you're my mommy. They leave the ship and they head out on this small quest to go get some information, to get these elements that she needs, and they fall into a pit of stuffed animals that comes to life and becomes a giant stuffed animal. One of those stuffed animals is one that she had as a little girl, and you find out that her dad was also an astronaut who disappeared into space on a Mars mission, and she blamed him for leaving her life
Right.
because of that. Even though, I mean, come on, you know, if something goes wrong on a space mission, you can't blame the person for leaving. She's like I said, she's got amnesia. She doesn't exactly know what's going on. Then she encounters.
She have Cottonmouth and the munchies as well.
She might. She might. She definitely knows that she's having hallucinations.
Stares at her hand.
Yeah. Whoa.
She's feeling boxed in and drawn out. Okay, so she then encounters a weird hallucination of teeth, and that
Whoa, what?
That reminds her of an old man that she used to water plants for, who explains to her that honestly, plants created evolution around the world. Plants told bees, this is what you need to do to keep living, and created a symbiosis. And the old man explains to her that they did this to humans too, because we prune trees so they don't die. And then she sees a hole, and her dad might be in it, and that's where the book ends.
I am equally confused. I feel like I need to be in a certain state of mind to enjoy the storytelling behind this book. The art's cool.
Giant stuffed animal robot.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta give it to Kareem on this one. Marvel's voices.
Of course.
Lots of great stories celebrating people.
This isn't breaking any grounds here.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's breaking something. My brain!
Yeah, I feel like you just explained it to me and it broke my brain as well.
Giant hole with Daddy Astronaut.
I like that art, though.
Yeah, I
The
do.
art is beautiful. The art is beautiful, and the way it's written is kind of fun. But I said it before. These indie books.
So my number one pick, are we ready? My
We're
number
always
one
ready.
pick is Deceased Unkillables number 1. And this is the Francesco Mattina cover. That keep in mind, we're going to have Francesco Mattina at C2E2, also an event on the 26th.
Yes. In
Brilliant
our store.
cover. Yes, by Red Hood. This is Red Hood.
His covers are so great. All the way from Italy. What a guy.
So we have Deceased in the background, and if you read that event, it's about what would the heroes do, sort of if there was a zombie outbreak, kind of infection thing. And this is
more like 28 Days Later zombies, you know, like
yeah.
rage monsters, more than
not undead, just
more than
Okay.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is basically Deceased was what would the heroes do. Deceased Unkillables is what would the villains do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's all these like badass kind of characters. It's a hard focus on Deathstroke.
Oh my gosh.
who's, like,
Interesting.
the
He
main
would
assassin.
totally survive the zombie apocalypse.
And you get to see his daughter and stuff like that. And then a hard focus on Red Hood, who discovers that Batman, Alfred, and I think Batgirl are dead in the cave.
Wow.
And he just takes the Batmobile and he's like, well, he never let me ride it.
Okay,
So
so
he
it's my
takes him
shit
out.
now. Okay.
My favorite scene is when he sees the Joker dead in an alley. So if you know anything about Jason Todd, you know what his relationship is to the Joker.
Yeah, he doesn't
They're
like it.
best of friends.
Yeah, no.
So he almost breaks down. He's like, it should have been me to kill you. Like, I can't believe you're dead. So he puts the Joker's dead body on top of the in front of the Batmobile. And just
kidding
rides
me?
around.
That's so awesome. All right.
Okay.
That's
Let me
insane.
just show some quick art real quick.
Oh,
Very,
look at the dead
very,
Bat
A
family.
lot
Very,
of like apocalypse stuff
very
like
cool.
that. So I love this.
Interesting.
That's gonna be tough to beat, Mario.
It's you know what? Honestly, dead Joker strapped to the hood of a car is gonna be very tough to beat.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's
All right. So this is Wonder Woman Dead Earth number 2. It's a DC Black label. I really enjoyed number 1, which gave you a glimpse of a post-apocalyptic future where Wonder Woman was the only superhero to survive. You find out in this issue because it gives you, it goes back and forth between her origin in this universe and to the present day.
Okay.
You find out that she's immortal, and that's why she survived all of that.
That's pretty cool.
You also find out the monsters that they've been battling in here, again, full spoilers, are actually nuclear blast mutated Amazonians. And she's been going around killing these things. So when she gets to her whole thing, when she found a group of humans, she was like, I'm gonna get to Themyscira and we're gonna find out what's going on, and I'm gonna get you all there.
She's been killing them the whole time.
So she gets to Themyscira, and that's what her mother says, is that you've been killing your sisters, and humans made us like this. So in a complete heel turn that I did not see coming, Wonder Woman abandons humanity at the end of this book.
Wow.
Yep. Wonder Woman abandons humanity because of what humanity did to them and what she's been doing to her sisters, and she leaves the humans, with one human leaving at the end. There's Wonder Woman's mother as a mutated monster. She leaves one of her
How am I gonna choose?
small kid friends at the end of this, begging her, like, hey, we only have 3 days worth of food. You told us to trust you. And Wonder Woman flat out says, you shouldn't have trusted me, and I shouldn't have trusted you. Peace.
Wow.
I wonder why.
I'm
wonder.
I'm gonna go a little crazy on this one, and I'm gonna call it a tie.
Oh!
I don't think I can choose between these books. These both sound awesome, and I will definitely be picking up both of these. And
Damn
they're
good
both
book.
they're too like comparable. It's like both apocalypse story. Like they could almost take place in the same universe.
There's
honestly.
too much greatness
You know what I
going
mean?
on
It is
in
DC.
both of these.
Yeah.
I really
so I
want to
don't feel
see
bad.
dead Joker strapped to the hood of a Batmobile.
Yeah, that sounds super cool. Like fan service love, like storytelling love.
We got to do the giveaway.
Okay, guys, so that was a tight race. You both did admirable jobs of selling me these
Thank
books.
you.
And there's definitely a few I will be picking up. Thank you for the suggestions and, doing all the reading for me.
Oh, no problem. No problem. I read all those indie books for you. You don't have to do it.
The whole time.
Yeah. So our winner for our awesome cursed book giveaway, this fantastic book right here, our winner this week is Tanner Himmelman with his recipe for Bat Pizza. So this is his comment. So seeing as this is New York and Gotham is essentially New York, I'm gonna go with a bat pizza here. Fresh sliced bat with some basil, courtesy of Ivy. I hear she's nice now. With a sweeter tomato sauce seasoned with a hint of Bane's venom, Alfred's little secret, so the family has energy for the night ahead.
Speaking a little venom on that.
Yes, it's a little bit on top, a secret recipe. So thank you for everyone who left comments. And just so you know, we're going to have another giveaway for next week.
Yeah.
So we're giving away the Symbiote Spider-Man number one, signed by Mr. Peter David himself.
One of my favorite authors ever.
Dun, 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 dun. One of the coolest guys, too.
Oh, 100%.
What a great
100%.
guy.
I spent 3 hours in a car with him.
Yeah, yeah, you did, actually.
He's a great dude.
So for this contest, we want you to like and subscribe, of course.
Like and subscribe.
Leave a comment on this video and tell us if the apocalypse started tomorrow and you were in the comic book universe, who would be your survival buddy pick?
No Superman.
Okay, no Superman.
Yeah, no Superman. And it could be supervillain, superhero, but yeah, let us know.
Could even be like
character.
Lois Lane. Maybe you
Yeah.
can just...
Any kind of character.
Who do you think will help you
creep.
survive?
You creep, how dare you? Lois is a tradition.
I'm just saying. And let us know why they're your pick. What you think that your skills plus their skills together will equal survival for you, right?
Interesting.
So that's all we have for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Leave a comment. We love hearing from you. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, what books you're reading this week.
And remember, you can pick
Yeah.
all.
Bless
you. You can pick up any book that you want from any of our Midtown Comics locations, and also online at midtowncomics.com.
That's right. And we will see you next week, guys. Thanks for watching.